So the name of the fellowship loosely is the Russian Wartime Diaspora. So initially I'll be based in Tbilisi, Georgia, where currently it has one of the largest hubs of Russian emigres who fled the country over the last 6 months since the start of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. This diaspora is comprised primarily of people who would be categorized as sort of millennials, the creative, intellectual, politically active, politically engaged urban populations that are leaving the cities of Moscow, St. Petersburg, but also cities like Vladivostok and Yekaterinburg. Currently, they find themselves in a limbo state because they don't quite know whether how the situation will develop domestically as authoritarian clampdown becomes more severe. There are jail sentences imposed for speaking out against the war. And, Western sanctions are bound to take their hold on the economy. The Russian millennial class is particularly interesting because, they grew up in a sort of free democratic Russia. They were born either on the cusp, in the years preceding or the years following the collapse of the Soviet Union, and they came of age, still under a democratically elected president. And so unlike their parents and their grandparents, they had never lived under Soviet authoritarianism and weren't able to read the signals until 2011 when Putin went up for re-election and there were mass protests across the country, and for the first time they felt the brunt force of the state, which ultimately ended up discouraging them in the years to come. Through the stories with my characters reflecting on the past, I hope they will sort of be able to look into their recent history over the last decade and a half and kind of really reevaluate the political trajectory of their country to sort of see if they can pick up on those signs and share, with the rest of the world what those can be. So I'm looking forward to the ICWA dispatches because they are self-designed and I have the freedom to sort of explore what subjects I want to write about, how much history I want to weave into it, without really having a greater editorial framework that I need to conform or adapt to. And I think this is where I will sort of really be able to express myself and practice the full extent of my writing. I like to experiment as well, and I hope that is something that I can get across through the ICWA dispatches. I hope on the side to also freelance pitch long-form articles when I can, maybe repurpose some of my material from my ICWA dispatches into magazine pieces. And in the years to come, I hope all of this material ends up in a larger book project, because this really is a historical occasion that I'm focusing on. And I'm so delighted by the fact that ICWA is providing me with the framework to really dive nose deep into this historic moment.